welcome to the Raw Report, episode 28. I am your host, Jerry, along with my co-host, the Bolivian Siberian, Andre P. Perez, straight out of Virginia, and my co-host, Bone Santana. We're coming to you with this very exciting episode. But before we begin, make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a like, drop a comment, hit us up on Instagram at Raw Fantasy Sports. And it's been a very exciting week too. A lot of random, unforeseen circumstances continue in this very weird season. And one thing that we have to get into, guys, is the disarray that's going on with the entirety of the running back market in this week too. So we basically have maybe 11 to 12 running back injuries. Some of your favorite and top tier picks are now either out for the season or out for multiple weeks. All right. So this is causing a tremendous shitstorm out in the fantasy world. Okay. And, guys, we could go down the list here. One of the first guys that it's basically, out for a while, it was going to be Saquon. And this just happened on what, Sunday, Andre? Saquon is going to be out multiple weeks with an ankle injury, a tremendous loss for the New York Giants. Of course, since they're already limited with players, their best player right now is arguably on the team is out for at least until week 6. So the Giants take a hard hit. One of the other guys that's out here is Jamal Williams, another guy that took the starting role out in New Orleans while Kamara is suspended. So tell me a little bit about what you guys think about this scenario. I know you guys have fantasy leagues. I know some of these picks you guys included in your draft. What are you guys doing to scramble right now, man?
I'm not scrambling. I'm praying. I'm trying to find solace in that waiver wire room, but it is thin with all these injuries. I have Saquon in our Polo League, and he's out. They're saying it's not a high ankle sprain, so hopefully he can come back in a couple weeks. I know that high ankle is like a 4 to 6 week timetable. He's a tough guy, but he's that offense, man. He's that offense, both running the ball, catching the ball. It's a tough injury there. And then in the fantasy cup, I just lost Nick Chubb, man. His knee literally went the wrong way at a 90-degree angle, and just seeing that. They said it on live television. Joe Buck, Troy were like, we're not going to show that replay. But obviously, you run to Twitter to get all that feedback, and man, that was gruesome. Same knee he jacked up in 2015, back when he was in college at Georgia. I mean, it's rough with rough waters. You don't have that's why you want to pay these guys. These guys want to get paid. They put their life on the line, their careers on the line every Sunday, and they're not getting the buck. On the back end, the front office has all that leverage, all that power, and they just signed someone else. They just got Kareem Hunt signed today, I believe, back on the Browns. He knows that offense. We'll see how that goes, but it's rough. It's rough.
I consider myself a bit fortunate, and I wasn't feeling this way in the beginning of the season, let alone last week. Right. I had certain running backs in mind that I thought were going to go ahead and help me throughout the season. I totally missed on Nick Chubb on all 4 of my drafts. And because, he carried me to a title last year. And along with Saquon, I have Saquon in one of my leagues. So, yeah, I was like, yo, that's a franchise. That's my first round pick. We have a whole nation of possible first rounders out for multiple weeks, all across the boards, whether you draft ESPN, whether you draft Yahoo. There's a very good chance that the running backs that are out or hurt, you drafted in the first round. So everybody's panicking. I say I feel fortunate because I was lucky enough to pick up DeAndre Swift on all 4 of my leagues during the draft process. He was available very late, and after his week 2 performance, it's looking like a very, very good insurance policy to have right now. But don't get it twisted. I'm also searching the waiver wires, to make sure that, that you get whoever who's available out there, who's available, who's not being picked up. Kareem Hunt, the Kareem Hunt, the situation that you just mentioned right now with Chubb being out for the remainder of the season. Like it looks like Kareem Hunt is going to be like the next man up, even though they already mentioned they had somebody ahead of him.
Yeah, Jerome Ford played pretty well in Chubb's absence. You're right.
Yeah.
You know, Kareem was always more like an insurance. You know, he's up there in age, but we'll see how they go. It's just brutal, man, for these guys.
It's about touches. It's about touches for these guys. Like at the end of the day, this is for fantasy football, and they may not be household names, but expect a new wave of new names incoming soon, and a good out of all the new names, of guys that are going to have opportunities this upcoming weekend. A few of them possibly could end up becoming household names to draft for years. Like in the future to come. Speaking about protecting yourself and your bank account, thank God Nick Chubb's entire salary for this season is guaranteed. So even though it sucks that it looks like he obliterated his knee, at least he has that salary guaranteed for the remainder of the year, because who
Yeah.
knows if he's going to come back to play ball like that.
Ever again,
That hit
bro.
was ugly. That hit was ugly, and it's the same knee. That's bad, man. That's bad. But
Yeah.
right now, everybody should be scouring the waiver wire. Start looking at RB2s. Start looking at every team across the league. Just like that guy
RB3,
from the Rams. What's his guy's name? Who leads fantasy and all receiving points right now?
Kieran Williams.
No, from the Rams.
Yeah,
From the
Kieran
Rams.
Williams.
Is it
No,
him?
no.
No.
Kyron Williams.
Unka Bunka, whatever his name is.
Him.
Oh,
That
Puka
guy.
Nakua. Yeah, I'm still
Him.
convinced that guy doesn't exist. I'm still convinced that he's just like an NPC,
He's an
NPC
NPC,
player.
guys.
They picked
He's a
him up off
creative
the
player in
streets and were
Madden that
just
made
like,
it to
hey,
real life.
yeah. I
Yo,
mean, once Cooper Cup went down, they were just like, hey, anybody with a pulse that has 2 fast feet, let's go.
he has the
Him
same
and the
amount
other
of.
dude, Tutu Atwell, like they're not household names, but Bones, like you said, these are names
They're
that
going to be.
they're gonna pop up. Anybody that watches college football, from the very beginning and knows these guys from back then, right? They're not there. Maybe a lot of folks that just watch the NFL, but they watch college. They know these names. They know the production that they had in college. It doesn't always translate. That's why, some of these studs in college, they go in the 5th, 6th, 7th, sometimes undrafted. All they need is a shot, and they're getting these shots with all these injuries.
Yeah,
It's
man.
a
I'm
new
on the
world.
same boat. I had drafted Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, and Austin Eckler. He took me very far last year, but all these guys are dealing with pesky injuries, hamstring injuries, ankle injuries. Man, it's like you guys mentioned, you have to scour and scrape that free agency and hope that
This
you can
week
find
too, bro.
the next breakout star, because it's looking like it's going to be the year of the backup, the second and third stringers. As you guys know, the Eagles usually work on a 4 running back rotation, and I think we should, as fans, as fanatics, as the viewers, I think we need to start getting ready for that era where they're going to start introducing the backups more frequently. So that's something
Committees,
that,
committees,
again, I
yeah.
just named 3 top tier running backs that are also out. Cam Akers has just been traded to the Vikings, another individual who hasn't done much since his Achilles rupture a couple years ago. And it doesn't look
Yeah,
like he's going to be doing much either in Minnesota. So,
I
guys,
mean,
you gotta
yeah,
look into that free agency.
yeah. I mean, Madison's not doing anything either. His first 2 weeks with
Nope,
the number one job role back there hasn't done a damn thing. In that
nope.
high-powered offense, they expect a lot from him. I mean, Kirk Cousins can still sling the ball. He had 4 touchdowns Thursday night, but if they don't have that ground game, why do you think they're what 0-2, right? That's
Yeah,
that's
Hmm.
it's for a
two to start the
reason.
season. They lost to my
Dalvin,
Eagles this weekend. Yeah, check
yeah,
out the meme in the back.
that Dalvin left, and they thought Madison was that guy, and right now he's
He's
not.
not.
So that Cam Akers move is insurance that maybe he gets rejuvenated, he gets his legs under him, he gets inspired out there in Minnesota. But we'll see, bro.
The whole
Yeah.
NFC North is injured, right? The whole NFC North is injured. The Vikings, they thought Addison was it. He's not it, hence the trade. The Green Bay Packers, Aaron Jones, hamstring, right? That can
Yeah,
linger on
AJ
throughout
Dillon
the
didn't do much
season.
either, right?
Detroit,
Yeah.
Detroit Lions, they lost Montgomery. So, so now they got to rely on a rookie Gibbs. And the Bears, it's not even get started about the Bears. So look at that, a whole division riddled by RB1 injuries.
Yeah.
By
So
the by the way, guys, the defensive coordinator just quit out of nowhere on the Chicago Bears, so I don't think their situation is going to get any better, to be
even
frank.
more disastrous. Shout out to everybody that has the NFC North on their schedule this season. You might as well just chalk up a win.
That's rough.
Chop up a good win there, man. So
Shit.
this last week, we've been pondering with the performances that ended up being of week two. Something that stood out to me and sticking out to me like a sore thumb. And I gotta bring this individual up because there's been so much, animosity revolving his name over the last two seasons, especially after he left Houston, and the Browns really gave him a
Uh-oh.
tremendous contract. Because the next individual I'm gonna say, Deshaun Watson, got the bag from the Cleveland Browns. Okay, and last year we gave him a pass. You're playing half the season. You're coming back from your suspension. Fine, all right. We're 2 weeks in, guys. Deshaun Watson looks horrendous. Okay, he looks like a shell of a former self. Even if that, a lot of turnovers, not enough touchdowns. Nick Chubb just went down, which is arguably the best running back that he's ever played with. And maybe there's potential in the receiving core. I think Dre, you're very optimistic about some of the tools that he has around him. It's not too late
Yeah.
to turn it around, but I think
I mean,
that
I do but that Nick Chubb injury is crucial. Yeah, he's
yeah,
he was that workhorse back there, right? And then even when they had Kareem Hunt, that 1-2 punch, right? It was lovely to watch. You could interchange these guys and not skip a beat. But Deshaun Watson, he's not playing like a $230 million fully guaranteed man back there, right? You see all these quarterbacks getting these lucrative deals, and then Deshaun Watson, after his time in Houston, all that off the field issues, legal issues, staying a little bit too long at the massage parlor issues, like it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good out there. You still got some weapons on the receiving core, but yeah, I think they overpaid him. I think they paid him way too early. I think he needed to prove himself a little bit, but
they gave up
they
three first
commend.
round picks for him. 3 first round picks for him plus all that money.
Oh my God.
Nah.
Finesse.
Yeah, he's still young, right? He's still a relatively young guy, but it's not looking good out there. It's not. And I was really high on this offense. If you watch our earlier shows, I was really high on this offense. Even putting them ahead of the Bengals in the AFC North, but nope. I can eat my words, and I'll say they're going to be the bottom dwellers.
Mm. I mean, what can I say about Deshaun? My team at one point was involved in the whole fiasco when he was accepted back into the league. Who was going to get Deshaun? The Dolphins were, they were heavily linked with him.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I'm very glad we never went that route because, wow, this is not the same man that I saw go toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes in the divisional round at Arrowhead, take a 21-0 lead. That was all Deshaun, right? Before his special teams gave up 2 scores and his defense couldn't stop Patrick, towards the end. But at one point, this man had arguably the league's best football player in Patrick Mahomes up against the ropes. Generational talents. I thought Deshaun Watson was going to be a force to be reckoned with. Even when the whole Cleveland news broke out, I was like, Cleveland is where, careers go to die, or like whatever you want to call it. It's a snake bitten franchise. They're even in the top 10, by an NFL Films episode themselves. But yeah, man, I thought he was going to ball out, at least get to some sort of semblance of the player that he was, but it's just not happening. And the only reason why the Cleveland Browns aren't going to be the bottom feeders in their AFC North is because of that defense. that defense is not to be played with. You know, Miles Garrett can wreck your whole game plan, and for now, the defense is going to have to carry them until maybe Deshaun finds his groove. Because I'm no expert, I never played in the league, but I have a feeling if Deshaun doesn't show anything after this season, oh, that window's going to look smaller and smaller. I hope he turns it around because no bueno.
I really think that the Cleveland Browns made possibly the worst deal in football history and perhaps all of sports. Because if Deshaun doesn't come through with the next couple of games, guys, this is a wrap. And they have wasted their time. They have wasted their money on complete potential. Everybody knows that a player stepping away from the game for a year or two is not good, man. These are perishable skills, which means that you got to constantly be practicing these skills. And it's very hard for football players to practice these skills, especially when they're not in contact with an entire team and you're just at the park throwing the ball. It's just
he
not
was
the
in
same.
contact with an entire team, but it was at the massage parlor. So
Exactly. And maybe that's what it is, Dre. Maybe that's what it is.Maybe since he doesn't have his rub and tugs anymore, he lost all motivation for the game.
it could be when you get rid of that incentive. He's not allowed within 250 feet near a massage envy. It's kind of wild, but even then, like you were saying, if it's probably the worst contract in NFL history. But he still has a few more years to turn it around. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't.
See, I think you guys may have opened up and the mystery box for sure, and it all makes sense to me now. Deshaun went from getting massages from Houston women and Latinas to Cleveland and what they have to offer. I think
when they signed him, he heard the Clevelander, not Cleveland. So he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go."
He's like,
I'll be there. Miami, I'm there. They're like, no, Miami, Ohio.
Miami,
that's what it was. You never know. It's a play on words, but he's
my man went from having the finest of brown sugars in Houston to the whitest of condensed sugars in Cleveland.
Unseasoned chicken, baby.
Woo!
Guys, moving along. We got 3 of the best games of the week. And I'm going to hit it off to you out here, my fellow guy from the DMV. Commanders and Broncos. What a game. If anything, in my opinion, game of the week.
Nah, it was a hell of a game. I'll tell you what, when I was watching that first half, I was turning off the TV, watching something else, but had to go back to endure that painful first half. It was like they had no idea what they were doing. That defense wasn't showing up. They were giving up, passes here, left and right to, a burnt out, washed up Russell Wilson. But that second half, they came back. That defense is real. That front line is amazing. Deron Payne on his own forced a 3 and out. It was a sack, I think a tackle for a loss, and then a batted ball, 3 and out, just on his own. Chase Young back finally after being told, oh, he'll be back last season, he'll be back week 1. Finally, he steps up, he records a sack. And then that game got way too close at the end. The Commanders defense kind of let up a little bit on that gas, and you had that Hail Mary throw from Russell Wilson just being bobbled by like 2 or 3, 4 players, and then he comes down, catches it. I was yelling at the TV, cursing everybody from left to right, and then it was a controversial call, that 2-point attempt. It looked like the defender was a little handsy there, but they pulled off the win. It was a close win, but Commanders 2-0, right up there with the Eagles, baby. So we see you right up there with the Cowboys too, right? I'm just saying the record speaks for itself. It's a three-way tie for first in the NFC East.
Listen,
I
there's
got
nobody
you.
more surprised than I am, Andre. Okay, a lot of people are counting them out, man. They don't have a lot of known weapons. You know, you guys have a great defense, in my opinion. A decent receiver, McLaurin. You know what I mean? But guys, you guys are pushing along with the tools that you have. So I have much respect to the Commanders. We'll see. Let the better team win, right? As we know,
Yeah.
the Giants are about to face tremendous struggles with Saquon Barkley being out. So I don't see why not. And Dallas, well, you know, Dallas is gonna Dallas. All right. So the following game,
Yeah, no, we wait for them later. Yeah, yeah.
Atlanta versus Green Bay, and that was a very, very good game there, guys. Bijan Robinson, your boy. You've been big on
My,
him all
I,
season long. Coming through
I like
Bijan.
clutch.
Bijan. I like Bijan, man. He was out there cutting, making people miss. Just looking back at him like, oh, you there? Nah, I'm here. Just it was beautiful to watch. Desmond Ritter looked like he stepped up to the plate, had some tough throws out there, and he showed it on the bench. He was out there scrapping, mouthing off with some fans in the stands. So I mean, when you look like you're 57 years old, but you're a quarterback in the NFL, it's a wonder, why you're getting into it with these old heads in the stadium. But no, that was a great game. I think what's his name, Jordan Love. He had 3 touchdown passes, man. This guy's for real. He sat 3 seasons behind Aaron Rodgers, so he learned a bunch of things. They were saying, if that first or second route isn't there, that dump off, get your completion. He looks very comfortable in that offense. So that game went down to the wire. Arthur Smith, head coach for the Falcons, went on it on a 4th and 4. Bijan Robinson, that's some cojones, my friends. That's some cojones when you didn't even have to, just to get that closer field goal, and they won, bro. It was a great game. I like that game.
I feel indifferent because of that game I lost Aaron Jones. So I'm gonna take a line from Forrest Gump and say that's all I got to say about that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I like what ATL is doing. I like what Atlanta's doing. I called it kind of like the beginning of the season. They looked like they got decent little weapons. I wanted to see what the rookie had in store, guys. You heard me say that and stated. I don't have much belief in these college kids, but if they get in and they prove themselves right away, Bijan Robinson, man, he looks like the man in Atlanta. Okay, and we all know the quarterback could use the help, Desmond Ritter. And he's doing pretty decent out here, guys. Can't hate on him too hard. Now, the next game, I got to start off with, baby, we smoking on that Vikings pack. Vikings, Eagles, a Thursday night game. Eagles on a 3-day rest, okay, because they had played the previous Sunday. Thursday night football, what a close game. 3 touchdowns combined by both teams in the fourth quarter. Very high-scoring game to give your boy the second L of the season, guys. All right. But he had a tremendous game. I can't even hate on him too hard. But my Eagles, we became victorious, baby. 2-0 to start the season. And the next game is Monday night, prime time.
All right. I got multiple things to say about this game because I have a lot of players on both sides. Now, I'm looking pretty fucking smart. I'm looking pretty damn smart by taking TJ Hawkinson over Darren Waller, over Kittle, over Kelsey.
He was top 5. He was top 5.
Over all these guys that, that for some reason, something just didn't sit right with me. I'm looking really smart with TJ Hawkinson, number 1. Number 2, I'm participating in my very first 2-quarterback league in many, many, many years. Well, not
First
a
time
2
in
QB
10
league.
years, 12 years.
Not a 2 QB league per se, but we have a
super
flex.
flex.
Super flex.
So
QB included.
So QB, it's in play. So I took a chance on, Big Kirko out there. Big Kirko, even though he 0-2 in the season, he's 2-0 in fantasy, baby. And that's all that truly matters. And what else? So I got TJ, I got Big Kirko, and now I got a boner pick with this NFC East Philadelphia Eagle lover over here. I need you to write and talk to your boy AJ Brown or trade him to a quarterback that's going to throw him the ball.
Hey, I'll take
One
him.
or
Send
the
me a
other.
trade.
Listen,
Send me a trade
listen,
right now.
listen.
Live.
Send him to the
Raw.com.
AJ Brown is the new TO 2.0 in the flesh, baby. Don't worry. He's getting double and triple team. They're not letting him get the ball, which is why Devonta is getting them passes. All right. Just give it time, guys. I have a feeling week 3 is gonna be a different story, but he is the lead receiver out in Philly, and we all know Jalen Hurts can sling it.
No, it was a great game, man. I mean, for a Thursday night game, we used to come up to the first game of the week, that Thursday night football, and have some scrubs. Games would be ending like
Snooze
10 to
fest.
10 to
Snooze
9.
fest.
Not even interested in watching. I'd rather get a nice rest, a nice night's rest, and then wake up early at 5 a.m. and go to the gym.
That's
Right.
right.
But that game had me up. I almost called out. It was an electrifying game. Kirk Cousins 4 touchdowns. You had the Eagles, DeAndre Swift stepping up with Kenneth Gainwell out, had 2 TDs. Jalen Hurts 2 rushing TDs. Definitely bounced back from that week 1 putrid performance. It was a dope game. Like you said, AJ Brown, he'll bounce back. He was a great receiver last year. I think top 10
on the block.
in fantasy.
Trading block.
I'll send you a trade right now, my friend. I'll send you a trade right now.
Well, guys, that brings us to the bottom half of our show here, and we're going to end it with our week 3 predictions. And the first game, our first victims up, the Giants and 49ers in San Fran Thursday night. Who you guys have?
San Fran. Say it with me.
Yeah, 49ers easy, baby. Next, let's go.
All right, following game, Titans and Browns in Cleveland.
Ooh. Derrick Henry hurt?
Derrick Henry is banged up. He hasn't been ruled out yet. We know Nick Chubb will not be there, so the running back situation is kind of uncertain.
So it's Ryan Tannehill. So it's Ryan Tannehill versus Deshaun Watson. I'm gonna flip a coin. I'm gonna go with Deshaun Watson.
All right. Okay. What say you, Andre?
Yeah, you know what? I want to give the Browns another chance. I'll go Browns.
Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Titans just because they got Derrick Henry. I got him on my fantasy team. What can I say, guys? Okay. Falcons, Lions in Detroit.
Lions.
Oh, I like that game. I like that game.
I
like the
Lions.
I like what the Falcons are doing down there in Atlanta, but I'm going Lions. They're at home.
Listen, There's something special in the air in Atlanta this year. I'm a tremendous Atlanta Braves fan. Aside from my Miami Marlins, of course, and the New York Yankees. I'm gonna go with ATL. I can see them riding this winning streak to 3-0. So we shall see, man. Next game, New Orleans and Green Bay in Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Until Alvin Kamara is back, I don't trust that running game. Derek Carr's great, but I like Green Bay. Jordan Love, baby, all love.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Green Bay as well. And we're gonna go ahead and go to the next game: Broncos and Dolphins. And I know what you're gonna say, Bones. I know who you got already. We know.
Andre, I just want to let you know.
They know.
I know you in Virginia, right? But this is the city where everybody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And somebody that I know told me that they have a 1-hour long playlist of Future playing pregame during warm-ups right before kickoff. So we're gonna get into the head of this man that caused you such emotional damage last week with that Hail Mary and take care of Russell Wilson for you. I got you. Dolphins, baby.
Sir, we took care of him our damn selves, all right? So please don't ever disrespect or raise your tone at me again, sir. I am also going to go with the Dolphins. I lived there for about 8 years. Great team, great franchise. There's one particular fan I'm not a fan of, but let's go Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I think that the Broncos are going to start 0-3, and they are a complete dumpster fire out there in Denver. Following matchup, LA Chargers, Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. Both teams are looking for the first win of the season, guys.
Oh, Big Kirk will go and get that first dub.
Let's go Justin Herbert. If
Let's
Eckler's
go
healthy, I'll
Herbert.
just go Chargers.
Listen, if Austin Eckler is healthy, I think they got a shot. Otherwise, it's gonna have to be Kirk. The next one should be a good matchup. Patriots, Jets in New Jersey.
Snooze fest. Uh, snooze fest.
Brees Hall banged up. Starting quarterback is out. They only
I'm gonna
got
go.
Sauce Gardner. Okay, out in New Jersey.
I'm
Bill
gonna go with the
Belichick
Jets.
has nobody. Zeke isn't doing anything. I think it's gonna be a snooze fest, guys.
It'll be a snooze fest. I'll go Patriots though. I think Bill Belichick is still has that edge over the Jets. Yeah, I like the Patriots.
All right, we're gonna take it back to the DMV against the Bills this week.
Ooh, where at Washington?
DMV at the DMV, baby.
All right, Andre. It's time for you. It's time for you to show
I
me how
think
real
Josh
that
Allen. I
defense
think
is.
Josh Allen is gonna get sacked 8 times. The Commanders are gonna pull off a nice surprising win, go to 3-0 on the season. Yeah, they'll bottle up James Cook. I'm going Commanders.
I will send you my favorite Bolivian red wine bottle to you, express, if you beat the Buffalo Bills for me. I'm going
You
with you.
heard this. You heard this. You heard this, folks.
I
Listen,
will trade you.
I'm gonna go
I will
ahead.
trade you AJ Brown for your second best receiver, Andre.
Listen,
If you beat the Bills for me.
Heard it here
I'm gonna have
first.
to play devil's advocate, and I hope the Bills demolish the Commanders because I don't need you guys getting any further up the NFC East. Okay, guys, this belongs to
Sounds like
the
you're scared.
Philadelphia
Sounds like
Eagles,
you're
baby.
scared. I feel
This the
that.
man you
I would be scared too. I would be scared too.
this the man you agree with over me, Andre? This who you
Listen,
choose?
listen. The
A
next
Central
game should be
American
a nice.
over your own
The next
brethren?
game should be a nice little wash fest. Houston versus Jacksonville in Jacksonville. I got Jacksonville off rip.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, Duval. Let's go. Next.
Duval. All right, we got the
Duval.
Colts and the Ravens in Baltimore.
Oh, snap. I'm gonna go Ravens.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's go Ravens. Let's go Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens all the way. Panthers, Seahawks in Seattle.
Seattle.
Seattle, baby. Geno Smith. Let's ride.
Let's do it. Carolina has a very small quarterback. I got no faith in him. Chiefs and Bears in Kansas City.
Kansas.
This game is going to
right,
end.
guys?
It'll be 50-3 by halftime. Chiefs.
And
Chiefs all the way.
because we said this, Justin Fields is going to have 157 rushing yards by halftime with 3 passing touchdowns in the second half out of nowhere.
Yep.
Right.
You know
Sounds
it.
like you have him on your team somewhere.
Listen,
No, I do
Cowboys,
not.
Cardinals in Arizona.
Ooh, Cowboys. Arizona's
Cowboys are gonna take that.
Arizona is
No
not.
comment.
They're not publicly saying it, but they tank it.
All right, the following. This is my favorite city in America aside from the city that I'm from. Vegas, Steelers in Vegas.
It might be a slug on fest, but I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
I highly doubt that Deontay is out.
That Steelers defense is real, bro. That Steelers defense showed up, but it's Vegas, baby. We Vegas.
Vegas, baby. Let's hit the machines. And Jimmy G's slinging it to Devontae Adams once again. So watch out now. Devontae Adams becoming a very valuable asset in fantasy as usual.
He has to.
All right, Eagles and Buccaneers. Both teams undefeated. Baker Mayfield against Jalen Hurts on prime time. In Tampa.
Is in Philly?
In Tampa.
In Tampa? Ooh. Upset alert. Let's go Tampa Bay, baby. Let's go Baker Mayfield, baby.
I'm going to go with the guy that actually won a Heisman trophy.
Listen, I'm going to go with my glorious Eagles because we all know this is a Baker Mayfield fluke, okay? They don't deserve to be 2-0, the Buccaneers. On paper, they don't look good, but they've been good. Both teams undefeated. Let's see who's going to walk away with the first loss. LA Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati.
The Rams.
Yep,
Ooh.
I'm going Rams. As long as Joe Shiesty's hurt, let's go
Who's their
Rams,
quarterback
dude.
now? Who's their running back now, guys?
It don't matter.
Kyrie Williams,
Joe's
man.
not Joe's not playing. He
You got
re-aggravated his calf.
Nakua, Nalamagalabua, and you got Tutu Atwell. You got two dudes who I don't even think exist.
They're literally the guys that Key and Peele made a skit out of impossible names for football players. They're exactly that in real life.
Yeah, dog. I mean, this guy,
Exactly.
he set the record. Puka set the record for most receptions by a wide receiver in history. And he added like a 6 reception buffer on top of that.
Yo, he has outputted Cooper Cup's record-breaking fantasy season from 2 years ago.
2020, yeah. Yeah.
It's only week 2. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Stafford looks good. Remember, last year we were worried about his elbow. He looks good.
Well, guys, that brings us to the end of our show. And thank you for joining us here on episode 28 of the Raw Report. Before we get out of here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop a comment, hit us up on Instagram at Raw Fantasy Sports. And we'll come back with you at week 3. And then, good luck to everybody in week 3, especially in all your fantasy leagues. We'll be rooting for you, and hopefully we don't have unpleasant surprises. All right.
We'll be back. We'll be back. Bones, I hope all your teams lose this week. I'm sending you a trade right now for AJ Brown.
All right, fellas. Good luck to everyone. See you next week.
Peace.